Hello friends. In first part we studied about the dose of homeopathic medicines and the repetition of dose of homeopathic medicine. Now in second part we will study about the potency. What should be the potency of homeopathic medicine to cure the patient permanently? Hence we have to know each and everything about potency and how it should be selected to cure the patient permanently. In this, there are some guidelines for the selection of potency. So, what are these guidelines? In this, the closer the similarity a remedy bears to the picture presented by the patient, the higher is the potency, provided no specific contraindications to the use of high potencies exist in case. Means it is regarding the what should be the potency selection, and potency selection depends upon the similarity. Means there is the closer the similarity a remedy bears to the picture presented by the patient. Means we select the similimum that will be very close, or the exact similimum that we select, that should be, in that case we will give the higher potency to the patient, as we have the confidence that and there is the similarity between the selected medicine and the symptom of the patient. In that case we will select the higher potency to cure the patient, provided no specific contraindication to the use of high potency exists in the case. Means if there is no any pathological damage to the patient, in that case, or there is no specific contraindications, in that case we will select the higher potency if we see the closer similarity between the symptoms of the patient and the medicine. Then the second guideline is a case which is rich in mental gives the best result when higher potencies are employed. In cases where there is mental symptoms are more, or the case is of mental, in that case we will give the higher potencies. Then next guideline is with remedies those are inert in crude state, higher potencies give better results. Means there are some remedies which are inert in crude form, but when these are used in higher potency, that will give the better result. For example, silica, that is inert in crude state, also that is salt, that is natramore, inert in crude form, but when we use in a dynamic state or higher potency, that will used very nicely and that will create a miracles. So that will be used in a higher potency. Then next is a potency which has helped a patient in past should not be lightly changed. That will chance, there is a chance for aggravation. Means a potency which has helped a patient in past should not be lightly changed, as there is a chance for the aggravations. Then in chronic cases, when highest potencies have been tried with progressively decreasing responses, the 30th potency repeated to the point of reaction. In chronic cases, when highest potencies have been tried with progressively decreasing responses, means first we use the highest potency, then the 30th potency repeated to the point of reaction. The next guidelines, that is regarding when an allergic patient reports with same old symptomatology after a long remission from a constitutional remedy in high potency, the use of same potency might precipitate a severe aggravation. Means patient giving some constitutional remedy with high potency in past, and there is reappearance of the same course of symptomatology, and in this case when we use the high potency, that will cause the severe aggravation in the patient. Then next is when should go back to medium range and observe the response carefully and regulate further repetition carefully. That is regarding to go back to the medium range of potency. Then next is, when a remedy is prescribed on poor indications or only for a particular effect, we should adopt a lower range. Potencies beyond 30 should not be ordinarily be used at times. Even the mother tinctures means when we give the medicines for poor indications, or the that is only a particular effect, in that case we have to use the lower potencies. In that case we should not use the higher potencies, or at times we will use the mother tinctures for these poor indications. Then in acute illness affecting vital organs, high potency frequently repeated leads to crisis. Medium or low potency with frequent repetition lead to lysis. That is in acute illness affecting the vital organs. That is, if there is emergency cases, in that cases the high potency frequently repeated leads to crisis, and low potency or the medium potency with frequent repetition that lead to the lysis of that particular organ. So in that cases, that is acute illness, we have to use the low potency with repetition. Then there are some factors affecting the selection of potency, or what should be the factors that will depend upon the selection of potency. In this, the first is the susceptibility, or the susceptibility is the main factor on which the selection of potency is dependent. That is the only guide for the selection of potency. That is susceptibility. It is the internal capability of a living organism to external stimuli. That is susceptibility, and this is the only factor on which there is the selection of potency. So this susceptibility may change according to first factor, that is age. In this, children and a young adult require higher potencies and old age require low potencies. So this is according to the age of a patient. If the age is less, or if we give the medicine to the children or young adults, in that case we will use the higher potencies. But when we use the medicine for old age, in that case we have to use the low potencies. Then the second factor is sex. In this, the female in village require medium potencies due to their moderate susceptibility. That is, female require the medium potency, that is from the village, having a moderate susceptibility. Then male of irritable sensitive patient require higher potencies. That is, males having irritable disposition or the sensitive patients that require the higher potencies to stimulate their susceptibility. In this, the selection of potency depend upon the different factors. In this, first factor is age, second sex. Then third factor is habit and environment. In this, the higher potencies are best adapted to persons engaged in highly intellectual or the mental work, sedentary occupations, excitement of imaginations and emotion, etc. In this, what is the habit of a patient or the environment of patient, that will also recognize the selection of potency. And in this, the higher potencies are best adapted to the persons which are engaged in highly intellectual or the mental work, which having sedentary occupations, excitement of imaginations and emotions, etc. Then the low potencies are best adapted to person engaged in physical labor without much mental exertion. Means low potencies will use in a highly labored worker or the physical labor. In this, who sleeps little, whose food is coarse. In that case, we will use the low potencies. Also, person exposed to continual influences of drug such as tobacco workers, dealers, distillers, and all connected with liquor and tobacco intake, druggists, perfumers, chemical workers, idiot, and deaf and dumb. In that cases, we use the low potencies. Means, in short, the person working with the intellectual work require high potencies, and the person which is concerned with the physical labor required a low potency. Then the fourth factor is constitution and environment. In this, the higher potencies are best adapted to sensitive persons of a nervous, sanguine, and choleric temperament, and intellectual persons who are quick to act and react, and jealous and impulsive persons. These persons require the higher potencies. This is fourth factor for the selection of potency, that is constitution and environment. In this, higher potencies are required for the nervous, sanguine, and choleric temperament with intellectual persons who are quick to act and react, jealous and impulsive persons. And on the other hand, the low potencies that are and frequent doses are suited to torpid and phlegmatic individual, dull comprehensions and slow to act. These are the person which are slow to act, and in that person we require the low potencies. Also, the oversensitive patients and idiosyncratic patients are giving low potency but repeated at long interval. In this, the persons having the intellectual character require high potency, and the phlegmatic or the dull comprehension require low potencies. But along with this, the oversensitive patient or the idiosyncratic patients which are very sensitive, that require low potencies, as they prove each and every remedy they get, but they required low potency with repeated at long interval, as they are very sensitive to each and everything. So in that case we have to use the low potencies. Then fifth point is nature and depth of disease. First point we will see the for the selection of potency, first point factor is age, second factor is sex, third factor is habit, fourth factor is constitution, and the fifth factor is nature and depth of diseases. In this, repeated doses of higher potencies are effective to arrest the progress of acute disease with no structural changes due to high susceptibility. In this, the repeated doses of high potency are effective to arrest the progress of acute diseases with no structural changes due to high susceptibility. Means diseases of acute character that require the repeated doses of high potency having the high susceptibility. Also, acute diseases with lowered vitality required low potency in repeated doses to overcome the inhibitory state of vital dynamics. The second condition is the acute diseases but low vitality. In that case, we require the low potencies. And first condition is acute diseases with no structural changes require high potencies. The third condition is acute manifestation of chronic diseases with gross organic damage required low or medium potencies. At the beginning of organic changes or in functional plane require the high potencies. And the third condition is acute manifestation of chronic diseases. In this, we will see the nature and depth of diseases. In this, we will see first regarding the acute diseases. In acute diseases, there are three types of acute diseases. First, that is the acute diseases with no structural changes, means having the functional changes only. In that case, we will select the high potencies. Second condition, acute diseases with structural changes or the low vitality. In that condition, we will use the low potencies. And the third condition is acute manifestation of chronic diseases. In that case, we will require the low potencies. And at the beginning of organic or the functional plane, means when there is the starting of the disease, When the disease is on only a functional plane, at that condition we will use the high potency also in acute manifestation of chronic diseases. Then in chronic diseases with gross organic changes, low medium potencies are required. Chronic diseases with gross organic changes required high potencies are given in case of neuralgia and migraine. And third, that is mental diseases with high potencies are contraindicated to start due to high susceptibility. Means in chronic condition also we will see three types, that is chronic diseases with organic changes required low potency, chronic diseases without organic changes require high potency, and the mental diseases high potencies are contraindicated to start due to high susceptibility. So this is regarding the nature and the depth of the disease. This is fifth point. Nature and depth of disease in acute diseases and in chronic diseases. In this also, the in difficult and incurable cases we do not give potencies not above 30 and 200. Means if we know that the disease is incurable, in that case we will use only 30 to 200 potency and not beyond this. 50 millisiemal potency is the best for this purpose, and for incurable cases we use the 50 millisiemal potencies. Then seat of disease, that is material doses are necessary for the considerable affection of internal organs. Means material doses are necessary for the affections of the internal organ. Then previous treatment of the disease, patient who have taken many crude drugs often require higher potency. Means their body is resistant to that medicines, and for that purpose they require the higher potencies. The patient taking the previous treatment of disease. Then different miasmatic state. In this primary manifestation of psoriasis, psychosis and syphilis require high potencies in repeated and large doses for an early and permanent cure. In maximum dose also we see maximum dose is required for the primary manifestation of psoriasis, psychosis and syphilis for the early and permanent cure of that particular disease. Then secondary manifestations require minimum and the low potencies to start. When there is secondary manifestation of miasm, that will require the low potencies. In primary manifestation we require the high potencies, and in secondary manifestation we require the low potencies. So this is regarding the nature of and depth of disease. Fifth point, that is in acute condition and in chronic conditions. Now we shift towards the next point, that is nature of medicine. I will again repeat the points. For the selection of potency, the first point is age. In children we will use high potencies, and in old age we will use the low potencies. The second, sex. In that is female of village area that require the medium potency, and the sensitive persons of impulsive nature require the high potencies. Then third point is habit of the patient or the environment. In that the patient having a intellectual work require the high potencies, and having the labor work require the low potencies. Then fourth point is constitution. In sanguine temperament we require the high potencies, and in phlegmatic or melancholic we require the low potencies. Then fifth point regarding the nature and depth of the disease in acute condition and in chronic condition. In acute condition also there are different conditions. In acute mostly we use the high potencies, and in chronic condition we will require the low potencies. Now next is nature of medicine. What is the nature of medicine, and on that nature of medicine what should be the selection of potency. In this, no source should be administered in higher potencies. If the source of the remedy is no source, that should be no source that should be used in a higher potencies, and some medicines work in low potencies or tinctures such as Crataegus in valvular heart complaints, Sabal cerulata in BHP, then Calcarea iodate in goiter. So these are the some examples regarding the medicine which we use in a low potencies or in a mother tincture forms. Then with some remedies, their effect in reputed to vary with the potency used. Hiparsurf is said to abort infection if used high early in progress. It has resolved or abscessed teeth and osteomyelitis of jaw when used in low potency. Means same medicine when used in high potency having different effect, and when used in a low potency having different effect. Then great care should be taken in the selection of potency of deep acting remedies in serious chronic diseases. Means when we select the medicine for serious chronic diseases, in that case we have to select the proper potencies of deep acting remedies. Then there are some potencies, that is high potency, medium potency and low potency. In this high potency means that comprises all the potencies in the centesimal scale commencing with 1 m. If the potency is more than 1 m or the centesimal potency, that we call it as a high potency. So what are the contraindications of high potency? In that, advanced pathological changes in the vital organs, then hypersensitive patients, patients with skin allergy that responds best to the 30 and 200 potency. So these are the conditions which are contraindicated for the high potencies, that is beyond the 1 m. When there is advanced pathological condition of vital organs, in that case we will use the low potency and not the high potencies. Then indications. What are the indication in which we use the high potency? In this extremely close correspondence with the picture presented by the patients, then predominant mental in case, then allergy to chemical or drugs, respond dramatically to same chemicals or drugs administered in high potency. Means what are the indications to use the high potency? First is the exact similimum. Second, that is having the mental predominant. Then the third one, that is allergy to chemical and drugs. When that used in a dynamic form, that will work very nicely. Then in cases of acute illness with changes in vital organs and poor response to the medium range of potency, means in some acute condition we have to use the high potencies. The remedy is repeated frequently till a definite response is seen and continued for about 12 hours after differences, otherwise there is relapse. Then cases no longer respond to lower potency, indications remaining the same. When the patient is not responding to the low potency, in that case we have to use the high potencies. Then reaction poor, if it is decided to prefer a no source. For this state, the high potency repeated infrequently is employed. When we use the no source, in that case we have to use the high potencies. So these are the indications for the high potencies. Now next is low potencies. Low potencies means the potencies below 30 are termed low potencies. When the selection of potency is below 30, that we called it as a low potencies. So what are the contraindications of low potencies? That is hypersensitive patients who show tendencies to come down with medicinal aggravations. Means the patient is hypersensitive. In that case, we have to use the high potencies and not the low potencies. Then remedies that are high active in crude state like phosphorus are not tolerated in the lower potencies. Means the remedies that are very active in crude form, that will be given in a dynamic form, and in dynamic form they will work very nicely. So in that case we have to use the high potencies and not the low potencies. Then cases with predominantly mental symptomatology will not respond to low range, means where the cases having the mental predominance, in that case we have to use the high potencies, and the low potencies will not respond in that cases. So these are the contraindications of low potencies. Then the indications of low potencies. What are the indications where we use the low potencies? In cases in which gross pathological changes takes place in tissues and organs, in that case we will use the low potencies where there is a pathological changes. Then organ remedies which are not properly proved and are generally employed for particular effect in a definite sphere, that is when we use particular remedy for particular effect, in that case we have to use the low potency and not the high potency. Then remedies in biochemical practice that should be used in a low potencies. So these are the some contraindications and indications of low potency. After low potency, we will see the medium potency. What is the medium potency? In that the potency having 30 to 200, that we called it as a medium potency. The medium potency are the only potency which can be administered in hypersensitive patient, that is 30 potency. Tuberculinum is best and not employed below 200 potency, as the lower potency may lead to an aggravation of the medicinal type. So 30 to 200, this is the range of medium potency. Then the next type is of ascending potencies. So what is ascending potencies? In that in some instances a reaction fails to ensue even after repeated doses of the same potency. A study of the case confirms the same remedy. In these circumstances, especially mental cases, the indicated medicine could be administered in an ascending scale of potency, that is 30, 200, 1m, 10m, 50m. So this is ascending. If some instances reaction fails to ensue even after repeated doses of same potencies. If we repeated the same potency but there is no any improvement, in that case we will use the ascending potencies, means if we prescribe the 200 potency to the patient and that will not respond, in that case we have to give the ascending potency of that medicine, means we have to give the 1m potency, we have to give the 10m potency. In that case we have to ascend that potency. A single dose of each potency being repeated on consecutive days to the point of reaction. As soon as reaction is observed, further stimulation is stopped, that is by the ml Tyler. In that case, if we give the ascending type of potency and we have to give the repeatedly ascending potency up to the there is any reaction that is observed in the patient. If there is any reaction observed, then we have to stop that, further stimulation is stopped, that is the given by the ml Tyler. So this is ascending potency, that is 30, 200, 1m, 10m, 50m and continued. Then the next point is time of administration. What is the time of administration of the medicine? In this first part we see about the dose and repetition of the medicine, and in this second part we will see the potency. What should be the selection of potency? And selection of potency depends on 6 factors. First, age. Second, sex. Third, habit environment. Fourth, constitution environment. Fifth, nature and depth of disease. And sixth one, that is nature of remedy. On these factors depend the selection of remedy, and susceptibility is the only guide for the selection of remedy, and susceptibility will indicate these different factors, and susceptibility also depend on these factors, and this will indicate the selection of remedy. After this we will study about the different types of potency, that is high potency, low potency, medium potency, and ascending potency. Now the second part of this lecture is, that is what is the time of administration. This is also important, that is when we give the medicine to the patient, what should be the time of administration of the medicine. So in this, the most medicines are best given in early morning on empty stomach. That is, most of the medicine we will give early in the morning with empty stomach. And then sulfur is given on an empty stomach in the morning, as at night it will induce the insomnia. When we indicate the sulfur at night, it will indicate insomnia. So most of the medicine we will give early in the morning with empty stomach. Then a remedy should not be given before or during the period of aggravation. Means if the medicine having a time modalities, during that time modalities we will not give that medicine. That is, for example, natramur should not be given in morning but give at a bedtime, and lycopodium at bedtime or early morning and not in the evening, as the time modalities or the aggravation, during the aggravation time we should not give that particular medicine, that will create some homeopathic aggravations. For example, natramur having the aggravation in morning but amelioration at a bedtime, so we will prefer to give the natramur at bedtime. Also lycopodium at bedtime or early morning, as lycopodium having the aggravation time at evening. Then one disease characterized by periodicity, a deep acting remedy should not be administered just before or during paroxysmus. Means the some remedies having periodicity or some disease conditions, so this should not be administered just before or during paroxysmus. A superficial acting remedy can be given during the paroxysmus. Means if we indicate the superficial remedy, that should be given during paroxysmus. Then on chronic cases, an acute phase often preclude a constitutional remedy for fear of precipitating an aggravation. Then for menstrual troubles, constitutional remedy is best administered immediately after menses. If we prescribe the constitutional medicine for menstrual troubles, in that case we have to give that medicine immediately after the menses. Then for menstrual colic, superficial remedy like Noxomica, Colocin, Macphos may have to be administered during the menses, but the acute remedy or the superficial remedy can be given during the menses also. Then in asthmatic state, the constitutional remedy is best administered after every attack is treated with a related superficial acting remedy. Means when there is sudden acute exacerbation of symptoms, after that acute attack you have to give the constitutional medicine, but during that attack you should use the superficial acting remedy. Then in asthma, an antipsychotic remedy will have to be administered sometime in the course when indication pointing to the same is seen. Means antipsychotic remedy can be given during the course of the disease. Then tuberculinum is the best administered in the quiescent state. So this is regarding the time of administration of some remedies, or the when you have to administer that medicine, this is also important. So these are the some of the guidelines regarding the time of administration of remedy. So in this part we will study about the potency and the time of administration. In potency, that the selection of potency depends upon the 6 factors: age, sex, habit, constitution, nature of disease and depth of disease, and the last one, that is nature of remedy. And the second part, that is time of administration of remedy, that is regarding what should be the time to give the medicine to the patient that will act very nicely to cure the patient permanently. So this is regarding the dose, repetition of the dose, and the potency. So this is very important from the practical point of view when you are going to practice the homeopathy. And for this reason you have to study this nicely. And if you have any difficulties in these slides, please ask me personally. So thank you friends.